Hello, friends. I'm personally crashing out. This is way different than how I usually tell stories, but my ex girlfriend and I have been broken up for about 7 days now, and I think she was cheating on me with a married couple. Yikes. But you guys are going to listen to this and you're going to decide. This is going to be like 5 or 6 parts. I'm going to court later today. I have to garnish some former clients' wages because they decided not to pay. And then also had a tenant that stayed in one of my fully furnished rental units. He decided he was just gonna fucking burn holes into everything. Like cigarette burns in the furniture, cigarette smoke in the walls. He put his cigarettes out on everything. There's holes in the sheets, cigarette burns in the refrigerator. Like it was ridiculous. And so that's another reason I'm crashing out too, because people are stupid. So one big thing I wanted to focus this year on is being patient. I wanted to be patient. I wanted to be kind. I wanted to start just like just being a more understanding person, I guess. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to listen to people, hear them out instead of making rash decisions and judging people way too fast. I wanted to take my time and stop writing people off right away, because that's typically what I do. I write people off quickly. I'm definitely guilty of this. Like, I write people off very quickly. I do not waste time. Like, as soon as I get a hint that you are not what I'm looking for, I typically just leave. I just end it right there. I'm done. But you know what? I've been focused on growing, understanding, giving people the benefit of the doubt. So I'm not a big dating app guy. I've used them, but typically I'm pretty good at meeting people out and about. But when I'm bored, I'll occasionally re-download Hinge and see what's out there. I spent most of my 20s working on my companies and traveling, so it was tough to establish a relationship. But the last year and a half-ish, I've been focusing on, trying to build something with someone. So I matched with my now ex, I want to say in late May. Our banter was exquisite right off the bat. It was just great. Like, we were just chatting, talking, deep conversations right away. It was crazy because she was staying with her family on some island in Ohio, and I was in Metro Detroit, so the radius wasn't that far, but we didn't realize that we were actually 4 hours apart. We just kept talking, and it ended up like, hey, let's just see, you never know. You never know. So I was like, I'll drive the 3.5, 4 hours to come see you, and we'll go from there. Before we dive into this story, I know the insecure police will be coming in the comments. Please turn off your sirens. I truly do not care if you believe I'm insecure. I have boundaries, and once they are crossed, I do not care, because I state my intentions very clear on the first date. My main boundary is to never lie, no matter what's it about. I'll listen to you, I'll hear you out, but just please don't lie. Especially I've done mostly long distance because I travel so much. So you have to have trust when you are dating people long distance, because that's all you have, really. I also have to say, I do believe the past matters. Now, before you Super Mario jump to conclusions, you idiot, we all have a past. Some of us, have done things we're not proud of, like sleeping with people, or maybe you got a DUI. I don't know what it is, but we're not always proud of our past, but we have done things to change and grow, and some of us haven't done things to change and grow. But that's why your past matter, because your past is a reflection of who you are right now. When people are like, past doesn't matter, I just don't understand that, because why would you have to go to therapy to heal your inner child if your past doesn't matter? Why do people run background checks if the past doesn't matter? Why do people leave reviews? Would you go get your nails done if all the reviews were terrible about the nail? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go to that hair salon and get your hair done. We are always looking at the past. But for some reason, when it comes to people and relationships, we're sitting there saying, oh, the past doesn't matter. Bullshit. It matters. I care about the past. You can say I'm insecure. I do care. I have standards. That's how it is. Now. I don't necessarily believe in holding someone's past against them. I don't think that's right in any way. But for me, I do have preferences on the types of women I date. I held myself to a high standard of not participating in hookup culture, not giving into girls who say they only like black guys or whatever that is, or they just throw themselves at you. I was a student athlete in college, and I didn't give in to any of that. I had my boundaries. I respected myself. So when I look to date someone, I want someone who holds themselves to that standard. I want someone who knows they have made mistakes, but they have learned from their mistakes. They're growing, and they're willing to acknowledge that. They're willing to acknowledge their past. I think the problem is people not acknowledging their past and trying to hide it. We all have made mistakes. We all have done things we're not proud of, but at the end of the day, anyone who is lying about the past knows it actually matters. Because if it didn't matter, you wouldn't lie about it. And lying about it is basically manipulation. It's manipulation because you are causing a person to see you in a different light, which isn't you. Maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about it, but don't try to change the past. Don't manipulate it. Don't twist the words. You either say the truth, say you don't feel comfortable, but don't fucking lie. All right, so we're about to get started. I want to know what you think. These are the 3 questions I want you to think about while you're listening to this video. Do you think she was cheating on me during the relationship? Do you think I had the right to crash out? When should I have left? With all that being said, here we fucking go. So about a week ago, my girlfriend and I decided to split. So I was pretty much over the relationship the last 2 to 3 months prior because my one boundary with lying was crossed numerous times, which I know I should have just left. I get it. I can hear you chirping right now, but I'm growing. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm cool. I'm listening and I'm being patient. Idiot! I wanted to make things work and see if I could forgive, in which I decided forgiveness is for Jesus, not me. I'll forgive you, but you will be on your way. See ya, goodbye, hasta luego, the tribe has spoken. You don't receive a rose, El Vida saying. Like, get out of here. I can't do it. I think she could tell, like, it was coming eventually, but yeah, I was completely done. But, so let's get started. So I was pretty much over the relationship the last 2 to 3 months prior because my one boundary with lying was crossed numerous times, which I know I should have just left. I get it. I can hear you chirping right now, but I'm growing. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm cool. I'm listening and I'm being patient. Idiot! I wanted to make things work and see if I could forgive, in which I decided forgiveness is for Jesus, not me. I'll forgive you, but you will be on your way. See ya, goodbye, hasta luego, the tribe has spoken. You don't receive a rose, El Vida saying. Like, get out of here. I can't do it. I think she could tell, like, it was coming eventually, but yeah, I was completely done. But, so let's get started. So our first date was great. We went to the Columbus Zoo. I mean, it was amazing. We went to a really nice restaurant. We shared a bottle of Prosecco. It was like basically 10 hours. We had like the deepest of conversations. We were talking about everything under the sun. It was super easy to talk to her, get along with her. We were talking about how much we hate hookup culture and how much we hate lying and all of these same things we were connecting on. And so, I was in love. I was definitely in love. I was like, oh, this girl is awesome. This is the first date, like, and it's going so well, and it's so effortlessly easy to hang out with her. She's volunteering so much information about how she doesn't like hookup culture, and she hasn't really slept around, and she values getting to know someone before sleeping with them, and all of these types of things. And I'm like, wow, like this is like very mature. Like, I like that. Those are things you want to hear and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, finally someone who is selective and actively sets standards and boundaries. And she's so kind, she's so gentle. She's so kind and gentle, seemingly, like it's nauseating. I mean, we kissed at the end of the night, and then I drove back 3.5, 4 hours to Michigan. Yes, I know it's a long distance, but I don't know. It was worth it. I was like, why not? And the girl from Ohio got me on the first date. I was ecstatic. I mean, I was so happy. It was a great first date, and as soon as I was driving home, I was breaking it off with two of the other girls that I was talking to. Yeah, so fast forward to our second date. I take her out on the boat. Before that, we buy Prosecco and canvases because we're going to come back, sip, and paint. We're again asking all types of questions. This is going to be another 12 to 14 hour day. And it was just so nice to be with someone that was so open and like to dive deep so fast. And somehow we get on the topic of things we've done in our past and stuff like that. And a threesome comes up. And I tell her, no, I've never had a threesome. And she says, yes, she has. And then she just starts volunteering information about how much she enjoyed it. And it was a married couple or a couple. I'm not sure if they're married or not. I know they work together. They have a house and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure she did say they were married. But whatever. Regardless, she was hanging out with this couple, and yeah. And I guess they were just having a threesome together. But she said they only did it once, and it was once before we even started talking. So, I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe, I don't know what I believe about marriage, but I know I would not be sleeping with other people or inviting other people in my bedroom. But again, I'm understanding, I'm growing, I'm learning. Fast forward a few days, I think I'm in the country of Panama, and we are texting about pet peeves and things like that. Somehow I eventually ask about if there's any exes, friends, or people that she had been with that I would run into, or if there's anyone I should know about that she's friends with that she had been with or something like that. Because one of my major pet peeves and things that I've seen from other people and hanging out is that they've hooked up with people and their current significant other has no idea. Or like their best friend is actually an ex and things like that. And like, I don't know how I would feel in those circumstances. If I know, I wouldn't just say like, hey, you can't be friends, but I would like to know early on in the relationship before just finding out randomly, 2 years down the road or something like that. And my biggest thing is I always ask questions like this because I don't want to be blindsided. I've been cheated on before. She was cheating on me while I was at football practice in college. She would go see this guy. I always ask a lot of questions and things like that, just so, I'm aware and, I know what's going on around me. Basically said she lives in a duplex with her roommates and things like that, and they share walls with their neighbors, and apparently she had hooked up with one of the neighbors. She told me they were just drunk. They did it once, like 3 or 4 months ago. It was meaningless. Just keep in mind, I see her neighbors every single time I pull up. I've waved, I've said hi to them and things like that. So it was nice that she was honest about that. I took that to heart. I think a lot of people may have lied about that or wouldn't have shared that. But her biggest thing, she said that she wanted to start this all off with honesty. And that was huge for me because I want someone I can trust. So I get back from Panama and we all go out with her friends. I'm buying drinks, and anyone who knows me, I love to buy lots of drinks and do group shots and things like that. But this night I could only drink light beer because I had to work the next day, and I'll only drink 2 of those. So I'm sober all night, but I'm offering to buy her friends drinks and things like that, just to keep the party going and whatnot. As I'm ordering, another one of their friends walks up, and I'm like, hey, you should go ask him what he wants to drink. And she's like, no, you're already ordering. You don't need to do that. And I'm like, no, just go ask him. It's cool, whatever. And it was like awkward. And now that I know what I know now, I get why she was being weird. But obviously at the time I didn't know. And so she asked him what he wants to drink. I buy him a drink. And I ask her, are you okay? Like, why are you being so weird? And then later on, I'm like, why is everyone else acting weird? She's brushing it off. I'm watching people whisper. We go to another bar, and the same thing. People are being awkward. She's looking over at this guy. This guy's staring back over at her. And I'm thinking I'm making this up in my head. But at the same time, I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I am completely sober, and I know I'm not crazy. And so I asked her again when we get back to her place after the night is over, is there something wrong? What happened tonight? Like, you switched. Like, her mood changed completely. So during that night, I texted one of my girlfriends. She is basically like this private eye FBI, CIA, Jason Bourne psychopath when it comes to finding out anything. And she goes through her Instagram and finds a pic of a recent trip that her and this guy had went on with her roommate and her boyfriend. And I'm like, idiot. So I'm getting ready for work and I ask her, again, like who was that guy last night? And she just goes, "Oh, that's my roommate's friend." And I was like, okay, all right. So you're just not going to tell me. I didn't say that, but I was just feeling inside. I was like, why is she being so weird about this? Obviously, she's uncomfortable to talk about it. I'm not going to push the issue too much further, but I'm still wondering, like, why was everyone so weirded out? My mistake was I left my Apple Watch charging at her place, and I didn't realize it until that night. I was asking my friends for advice on the situation. And I think I did say, like, should I just end things, because it seems like a lot of this stuff is adding up and she's been weird about this other guy. I'm just like, I don't know. It's just so many red flags right off the bat. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And I guess she's reading these messages. So that day I get a random text from her. It basically says that I thought about last night and I was going to tell you when you got back, but that guy was someone I hooked up with a couple months ago on spring break. And first off, she wasn't going to tell me. That's a lie. Lastly, if she wanted to tell me, she had 6 other opportunities to tell me. And she didn't have to tell me at the bars. I get if that she felt awkward in that moment. She could have told me at that night. She could have told me the rest of the night. Or she could have told me the morning. But she wasn't going to tell me until she read my messages and saw that I was thinking about ending things. She starts calling me at work, which I can't answer, obviously. And I'm like, thank you for telling me, but I just feel embarrassed and left in the dark because I saw you guys whispering. You were looking at him. He was looking at you back and forth all night. And I just wish I would have known, because at some point it'd have been like nice to not feel crazy. She starts calling me at work, which I can't answer, obviously. And I'm like, thank you for telling me, but I just feel embarrassed and left in the dark because I saw you guys whispering. You were looking at him. He was looking at you back and forth all night. And I just wish I would have known, because at some point it'd have been like nice to not feel crazy. I would have still bought him drinks and things like that, but it's the fucking principle. So I get back to her place that night. We talk, and again, I'm understanding, I'm listening, and basically I'm just like, hey, next time, can you just let me know so I'm not in the dark? I get why you did that. I get why you didn't feel comfortable saying it that night, but you did have other chances. But just make sure you, like, I know, like, just at least pull me to the side or text me or just say something, because I just don't want to be in the dark. Fast forward a few weeks, we have officially been dating about a month now. Yay! I'm in Florida. I have a condo down there, and I was having a conversation with one of my friends that my ex knows. Basically, my ex and my friend, they both had in common they slept with their guy neighbor. My friend asked me if they should tell their new person that they hooked up with their neighbor. I simply say, if they were to ask you directly or indirectly for some reason, then yes. Or if you're always interacting with your neighbor on a regular basis, then yes. But the fact that you're asking means you should probably just mention it anyway. I say I definitely appreciated it when my now ex told me. Because my now ex, they have this weird car situation thing where they have to text and call each other to move cars and whatever. So it was just nice that, that she told me that, and whatever. I'm telling my ex what I told my friends, and she just volunteers the information and states that she just wanted to be open and honest with me, and that after we started dating, the neighbor had actually reached out to her again, but she had turned him down. Now I know this sounds innocent from her, but she said the same thing about the married couple almost identically a few weeks ago, which was also volunteered information. So I just asked the question for clarification purposes. I thought it was the married couple that reached out to you. She instantly goes on the defensive and says she's crying and starts saying I'm accusing her. Keep in mind, this is all over text, so I have the messages. And I'm kind of like surprised this was her response to that question, because I'd never seen her act like that. And it was such a basic clarification question. I'm just like, I'm sorry, and I just drop it. Everything is great for a couple of weeks. I'm at her place in Ohio, no problems or issues. Then I'm back down in Florida for work. We are chatting, and the neighbor becomes a part of the conversation. Now, her neighbor has 2 other guy roommates. He's also a guy. Now, low-key, in the back of my mind, I started thinking about my clarification question a couple of weeks ago. But me being me, I'm trying to avoid bringing any of that into our conversation. Let me tell you, I fell miserably, and I say something like, was that the one you hooked up with in February and March? She tells me no, May. Now I am doing math. I'm crunching numbers. I'm calculating everything. I'm doing a squared plus b squared. I'm bringing out the quadratic formula, because why would you say you'd hooked up 3 to 4 months prior when it was within weeks? In my head, I'm getting that same feeling I got when I was at the bars with her friends. And I'm like, I'm not fucking crazy. And this isn't making sense. So I just tell her, that doesn't make sense because you told me this in the past. And she starts gaslighting me, saying I don't have to believe her. And she's pulling out everything from, forgive me, I wanted a meaningless hookup before you. Is that wrong? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, real premium 95 on pump 2 gas. Within about 5 minutes of me barely texting back or saying anything, I receive a novel message that, to sum it up, she was hooking up with both of her neighbors. But all before me, so I can't be mad. Let me tell you, I almost lost my fucking mind. I'm like, both? Like radio both, coach? Like, I am going insane. But all I text her is, I need time to think and space. Now, you can do whatever you want in life. You can sleep with whoever you want. You can sleep around. You don't have to sleep around. Either way, it is your prerogative of how you live your life. That is what you want to do. Go and do it. I don't care. But it's not about the sleeping around and sleeping with people. It's about the fucking principle of lying. I'll be honest. To give her the benefit of the doubt with how she was saying she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want me to judge her, I'll be honest, I would not have dated her. There's absolutely no way on God's green earth I would date her. Like, both neighbors? 2 dose? She's out here getting passed around like a bong at a frat party, like orange slices at a soccer tournament, like an aux cord on a road trip. She's being traded back and forth between her neighbors like Pokemon cards. I'm livid. I'm livid at the idea of this. I'm livid at the fact that I'm walking past them saying, hey, what's up, man? Hi, how you doing? Like, just conversing with them, and I'm in the dark again. Not knowing these guys are like, this is the dumbest guy in school. He's going back and forth to Michigan, and we're just casually hooking up with her. And she's sitting there texting me after I asked for space, telling me I can't be mad because it was before me. First of all, punch yourself in the throat. I'm not mad that this is what happened in your past. I'm mad that you used 50% of the truth to manipulate me into trusting you. You told me about one neighbor to gain my trust, not both of them. And I see both of them on a day-to-day basis. I am so mad. But me being the absolute dumbest boy in school, like just a complete idiot, me knowing I can do better than this, and again, it's not that I'm judging her past. My bad. You know what? My bad. She rubbed off on me. I'm lying to you guys. I'm not going to fucking lie to you guys. It is partially the fact it's both neighbors. I can't lie. I mean, she has 2 out of 3. Why not go fucking collect all 3 at this point? But really, I'm pissed at the fact that she gaslighted me and also pretended again like I was crazy. Like I just kept confusing these timelines, and it's the fact that she kept getting caught in her lies and then gaslighting me and then making me feel like I was crazy for questioning the differences in the things she's told me in the past. I'm pissed because she left me in the dark again. But no, that wasn't enough for me. That's not enough for me to leave because apparently I hate myself. But I'm understanding. I'm patient. I'm growing into the biggest dumbass this side of the Mississippi. We make up, but I ask her a ton of questions for clarification purposes, especially to see if she was cheating on me during this time, if she's still involved with these people, if the married couple was actually only once or was it multiple times. She assures me it was only once, But now I don't believe anything she says. And from the way at one point she just decided she was going to tell me what she enjoyed about spending time with them, I just had this feeling that it was definitely not just once. 2 days later, I fly her down to my condo in Florida. Dear Lord, what is wrong with me? So we get down to Florida. We're having a lot of conversations. We're talking about absolutely everything. And I'm not the type to ask anyone to delete anyone from their life or social media. First off, I shouldn't have to do that in the first place. You should have already done that if we're in a relationship. Secondly, I would never ask, especially if someone has a private account, because I want all of your previous hoes to know that we are dating and are together. So I'm not going to ask someone to remove people or delete stuff. That is like, I don't know. For me, that does nothing for me. And I don't know, this should have been a red flag to me, I think. But she decides to tell me she's going to unfollow the married couple, the neighbors, and everyone else. And I'm thinking, you live right next door to your neighbors. You share walls. You can literally put a cup up to the wall and play telephone. You still communicate with them about the parking situation. That literally makes no difference, her unfollowing them. But I'm like, whatever. Yeah, okay. I see she's like trying to make an effort to gain my trust, which obviously I can see that. But unfollowing people after all of this does nothing, especially since I never asked you to do that in the first place. We leave Florida, and I think we are on the same page about everything. And I think we're on the same page about honesty and just if you're going to lie, if you're going to not tell the truth, take it to your grave for the love of God and just keep it all together. Everything is good for another month, but then she's telling another story, and once again, she's forgetting she told me something completely different. I won't go into detail about this in particular because it's way too much. It's kind of inappropriate for TikTok, I think. It's a lot. But it started with gaslighting, ended quickly with, I'm sorry, this is what actually happened. Then she decides to tell me in all of her holy honesty that she had to come clean about the married couple was actually twice and not once. If it was before me, why even lie about how many times you met up? Why do you even need to mention the amount of times? Just nothing ever feels right and nothing ever sounds right. But at this point, after her telling me multiple times it was only once, now I'm like, why is her story always so confusing when it involves dates, times, and when we started dating? And so I have to find out for myself. I got to find out the truth. Jesus Christ is Jason Bourne. Because it's not like I was requesting this information or pressing for the release of information about her past. It's her volunteering information and then me simply saying, I thought you said it was this, over and over and over again. But at this point, I'm getting really distant, and I have about a month-long trip to New York and then Guatemala. And there's no way I'm allowing a compulsive liar to consume my thoughts while I'm trying to enjoy my time in these places. So right before I leave, I took her phone. I know, I have to preface this. I know what people are going to say. Man, you shouldn't look through someone's phone. Her phone is her privacy. Blah, blah. Listen, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck your privacy. Fuck their privacy. Fuck anyone's privacy who's been consistently lying for no reason at all. I'm not just going to sit here for another few months waiting for something else to come up, thinking she's cheating on me, wondering if she's hooking up with this married couple. I can't sit here another day wondering if she is cheating on me. So I go through it one night. I think it's the night right before I leave for the airport, and she's every bit of a liar. Like, hookup culture is her middle name. Like, she's hooked up with coworkers, homie hop, neighbors, friends. That was not the problem. The problem was I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm so embarrassed that I believe she was this person that she made herself out to be and all of this stuff. All the timelines are closer to us dating. Some messages are deleted when we're dating and all of these types of things. There aren't any messages of her ending anything between anyone. And the wildest thing is finding out that the married threesome couple was not a one-time event or a two-time event. Like,
they were really involved with each other. Like, why would you lie about the number of times? Why would you make all of that up and you weren't done with them? Like, why would you keep saying all of these things?
And so now I'm like, I'm fucking embarrassed because I'm driving all the way to Ohio, godforsaken Ohio. Like, what the fuck is there? Like, what am I doing in Ohio? I'm paying for everything because when you're with me, like, I don't split bills. I flew her down to my place in Florida, driving to her place over and over again in Ohio, like feeding her cat, also paying for her cat's litter and food at times when she's at work and she doesn't think she's going to have time to get it and stuff like that. And she didn't trust her car, so I would drive the 4 hours down to pick her up from Ohio, and then drive her all the way back to my condo in Michigan. I took her to Chicago. I was taking her to Michelin star restaurants, high-end restaurants. She never touched doors. Rain never even touched her pretty little head.
Just everything was adding up. I didn't have time to go through everything, but she was deeply involved with the couple. A lot more than once, a lot more than twice, and at this point, I'm like, with all of the gaps in the information and the fact that I can't trust her to tell me the truth, because I know a lot of people are going to say, why didn't you just go up to her and ask her about it and blah, blah, blah. What? Why would I do that when she's lied about nothing for the past few months? And then I'm going to ask her, hey, yeah, you've been cheating on me? You think she's going to tell the truth then? Absolutely not. I did snap a few pictures as evidence, but obviously I don't say anything to her. And I'm still like trying to convince myself like, oh, she's still this person that basically confided in me, basically told me a bunch of her trauma and things like that. And so I'm still trying to justify her actions, still trying to basically fight inside my head that she is still a good person and not this liar. She's just making mistakes. And yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, I get it. I'm stupid. But I get back from my trip. She calls me one evening, and I'm not sure what she said, but that was like, I just crashed out. I don't even think it was about anything, but I bottled up my emotions so much that I just started saying everything. And I know it's wrong to attack someone and blindside them with stuff after going through their phone, but I was so done. I brought up so many things. And you want to know what she did? She started denying it all. And at this point, I start like kind of laughing. Because I'm like, you can't deny this when I've taken the pictures of this. I'm telling you what you've done, not asking. And at the end of this, I'm just like, this is not believable. Like, I'm so angry. I don't even have time to ask her or even think to ask her if she was cheating on me. And by the end of our conversation, that was the end of us. At this point, I'm glad it's over. I actually felt relief, like a weight was off my shoulders. Like this weird blanket of anxiety was gone. But this is the best part, and getting towards the conclusion. I'm not sure why I felt like checking her following list right after we broke up, but she had instantly blocked me on everything right after the phone call. So I reached out to one of my friends that was still following her, and I asked them, was she now following these people? And yep, she was following the married couple again on Instagram. And I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way within an hour of us breaking up, she is now refollowing these people. So I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't talked to her since we broke up. But from some of the messages on the phone or the lack thereof, they were basically in like some throuple relationship thing. And I don't know, weird stuff. To each their own. No judgment. Yep, I'm judging you. If you're married and doing this, it's weird. I'm sorry. To each their own, but it's weird. So back to my original question. Do you think my ex-girlfriend was cheating on me with this married couple? So I actually ended up talking with her on the phone for like 2.5, 3 hours. I was right about she immediately reached out to the married couple because apparently those are her friends. And I don't know how you become friends with someone after hooking up with them once. She admitted to reaching out to them right afterwards. And telling them about us, and she was like, they were my friends, so I had to reach out to them, and I'm like, you only did this once after meeting on Hinge, like, or you did this twice after meeting on Hinge. These are the closest friends you have? Are you kidding me? So it's all weird. None of it made sense to me. I don't know. I'm still wondering, and I think it's a question that's always going to be unanswered. I don't think I'll ever know. If there's no proof, if there's nothing, it's like you've lied so many times, and then the first people you reach out to are those people, and you are spending time with them instantly after we break up. I don't know what to believe. I told her I would never believe anything she says unless she has some kind of proof about it. And she doesn't have anything. And that's the hardest part. Like, when you don't even have messages to show forth, or you're still talking to these people and you can't prove it, that you ever stop talking to these people. It's just like, why was I still there, and what was I doing? What was I thinking? Like, I knew I could have done better than that. I knew that's not the type of person I would be with, someone even involved in that, after I found out on the first date. And again, to each their own, but I was trying to be understanding. I'm growing, and I get it now. I have to establish my boundaries, trust my gut, and if there's something I don't like about someone's past, I am definitely not going to continue dating them. We have that prerogative as people. There's just certain things that if you hear them, you have every right to walk away at any point in time. So that is what I'm taking away from this. And yeah, we talked, and, I still have love for her. Like, I still care. Like, it just doesn't turn off. I'm definitely, I don't know. Part of me is like, oh, well, people just cling to the next people, whoever they can, to heal, or whatever you want to call it, or they just want to block it all out. And that's me giving her the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know. I think she was cheating. I believe she actually was. And I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Nothing made sense since the beginning. How lying and hookup culture was never her thing. It was always, I don't know. I think it always was a game, and it sucks to say that, but I don't know. It's better 6 months than 6 years down the road of planning and starting a family, or whatever it may be, being married to someone that you really have no idea who they are, or what they're doing behind your back, or what the honest to God truth is. But I mean, it's the hardest thing is knowing you really, really wanted to be with someone, and now it's over. And you were still fighting for them, even with things that you were uncomfortable with. You're still fighting for them, and I don't know, it hurts. I am sad. I think I'm going to be sad once it really settles in, but one day I'll look back and I'll laugh at all of this, and we're going to keep trying. I think, I'm not going to give up on the idea of love ever. I think I'm still going to be the guy that holds every door, opens every door, who never lets rain hit your head. I'm going to always pay the bill. We're not going to split. I'm going to always be the guy that just takes care of his girl, and makes her feel like she's the most important person in the world. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But, you just never stop. And I'm going to keep working on myself too. I'm not perfect, but yeah, I'm going to keep trying. And one day I'm going to look up, someone's going to be walking down the aisle, and nothing else would have mattered before that. So, yeah, trust your instincts and work on yourself, and be the best person you can be. More videos to come, and Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.